Well, Shabbat Shalom. I just want to welcome everyone to the Sabbath Day conference call. And this is Barbara serving as your host today. And Brother Pete is here as your co-host.
Yes, and I'm glad to be a part of this and glad to have you join us for this important material again.
Well, our title today is, Did the Lunar Calendar Come from Babylon? That is what everybody's saying. That lunar calendar came out of Babylon. Well, we're going to discuss that today and see if there's proof. Is it true? Did the lunar calendar come from Babylon? Well, and the question is, was the lunar calendar first documented in Babylon? A lunar calendar's background lies in the natural cycle of the moon's phases, the synodic month, which was first documented by ancient civilizations like the Babylonians as early as 2600 BC. Babylonian calendar. These are the things you'll find on the internet, and I'll leave all these links below. The Babylonian calendar was a lunar solar calendar used in Mesopotamia from around the 2nd millennia BC until the Seleucid era 294 BC, and it was specifically used in Babylon from the Old Babylonian period, 1780s BC, until the Seleucid era.
Babylonian calendar, a chronological system used in ancient Mesopotamia based on a year of 12 synodic months, that is, 12 complete cycles of phases of the moon. This lunar year of about 354 days was more or less reconciled with the solar year, or year of the seasons, by the occasional intercalation of an extra month. From about 380 BCE, the beginning of the first month of the year, Nisanu, was maintained near the onset of spring by the use of a regular cycle, similar to the Greek Metonic cycle, of intercalations in which 7 out of 19 years had an extra month added.
Okay, well, the Garden of Eden was located in the Mesopotamian area. According to the book of Genesis, the Garden of Eden was located in that region, specifically where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers originated. The Bible describes Eden as the source of a river that branched into the Tigris, Euphrates, Pishon, and Gihon rivers, a geographically plausible area known as the Fertile Crescent. The origins of the Babylonian calendar. Well, the Babylonian calendar was influenced by Akkadian calendar, which was influenced by the Sumerian calendar. The Assyrian or Akkadian calendar. The Akkadian names for months surface in a number of calendars still used today. In Iraq and the Levant, the solar Gregorian calendar system is used, with classical Arabic names replacing the Roman ones, and the month names in the Assyrian calendar descend directly from the Aramaic, which descended from Akkadian. And the Sumerian calendar was a lunar solar calendar with 12 months of 29 or 30 days, each starting with the new moon. Months varied in name due to religious differences, and an intercalary month was added every few years to align the shorter lunar year with the solar year. The calendar was central to agriculture, tracking the seasons for sowing and harvesting, and the Sumerian division of time influenced later Babylonian and modern timekeeping.
The Sumerians and later the Babylonians were the first known civilizations to use what we now recognize as a lunisolar calendar. By the 21st century BC, the Sumerians had come up with a solar year consisting of 360 days. It was made up of 12 lunar cycles, that being 354 days, which were rounded up to 360, forming 12 months at 30 days. What differentiated the Sumerian calendar system from any other lunar calendars of this time was the way they measured time. The Sumerian calculations were all heavily based on the numbers 6, 12, and 60, still used today. Our current year has 12 months, and the day in many countries is structured as 12 hours a.m. and 12 hours p.m. The hour itself has 60 minutes, and every minute has 60 seconds.
Where the Akkadian and Sumerians worshiped the sun, moon, and stars. So Sin or Suan, also known as Nana, these are the Mesopotamian names representing the moon. And while these two names originate in two different languages, respectively Akkadian and Sumerian, they were already used interchangeably to refer to the one deity in the early dynastic period. And they were sometimes combined into the double name Nana Suan. So we know Deuteronomy 4:19 says, "And take heed lest you lift your eyes to heaven, and when you see the sun, the moon, and the stars, all the host of heaven, that you feel driven to worship them and serve them, which Yah, your Elohim, has given to all the peoples under the whole heaven as a heritage." So this is just a glimpse of the Babylonian civil calendar, and the first two columns are the Sumerian month names and the Akkadian month names, and then you'll see the Hebrew down to Gregorian. So you can pause the screen and read this for yourself. Well, did the lunar calendar really come from Babylon? We just read that in many sources, that it came from Babylon. Is the Babylonian calendar the first lunar calendar? Well, the world's oldest calendar is the lunar calendar. The world's oldest calendar, a Mesozoic arrangement of 12 pits and an ark found in Warrenfield, Aberdeenshire, Scotland, dated to roughly 8000 BC, has been described as a lunar calendar and was dubbed the world's oldest known calendar in 2013. Archaeologists have discovered a lunar calendar in Aberdeenshire, Scotland, that is nearly 10,000 years old, and their findings show the calendar markers, 1, throughout about time, 2, figured out a means to follow it at a period in history that was still in the Stone Age. The discovery is considered both surprising and important because it now places a calendar nearly 5,000 years before what was previously considered the first formal calendar created in Mesopotamia 5,000 years ago. But here, a discovery has been made of a calendar construct appearing to track the phases of the moon nearly 10,000 years ago.
Until now, the first formal calendars appeared to have been created in Mesopotamia about 5,000 years ago. But during this project, the researchers discovered that a monument created by hunter-gatherers in Aberdeenshire nearly 10,000 years ago appears to mimic the phases of the moon in order to track lunar months over the course of a year. The site at Warrenfield also aligns on the midwinter sunrise, providing an annual astronomic correction in order to maintain the link between the passage of time indicated by the moon, the asynchronous solar year, and the associated seasons. Project leader Vince Gaffney, professor of landscape archaeology at the University of Birmingham, comments, "The evidence suggests that the hunter-gatherer societies in Scotland had both the need and sophistication to track time across the years, to correct for seasonal drift of the lunar year, and that this occurred nearly 5,000 years before the first formal calendars known in the Near East.
So it is considered to be the oldest lunar solar calendar yet found. Warrenfield is a location of a Mesozoic calendar monument built about 8000 BC. It includes 12 pits believed to correlate with the phases of the moon and used as a lunar solar calendar. It is considered to be the oldest lunar solar calendar yet found, and it is near Catherine's Castle in the Aberdeenshire region of Scotland and in the United Kingdom. It was originally discovered from the air as anomalous terrain by the Royal Commission on the Ancient and Historical Monuments of Scotland. Well, Daniel was in Babylon. Daniel, his 3 friends, and all the Hebrew captives that were brought to Babylon already had the lunar solar calendar of Israel. They had it before they went to Babylon. It didn't come out of Babylon with them. So they kept the Sabbaths and feasts by the lunar calendar. And you can look this up for yourself. All the time periods in Daniel and Revelation are divisible by 30-day months. Time and a half, times time and a half, 42 months, 1260. All of these prophetic times are on a lunar calendar that is 360-day year. So in biblical eschatology, a prophetic year or prophetical year is sometimes regarded as being different from an ordinary year. In Scripture, prophetic years of 360 days instead of normal years of 365 days has been interpreted as being equal to prophetic months of 30 days, and that's from Wikipedia. So prophecy teachers all agree that Israel had a 30-day month and that they were calculated by the lunar calendar. So let's go back to the beginning in Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, Yah created the heavens and the earth. The lunar calendar was in the beginning at creation week.
And Elohim said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, for seasons, or worship times, and for days and years." Genesis 1:14.
So the lights were created for days, weeks, months, and years. The days were counted at the beginning of creation to form a 7-day week. What system was used to calculate the patriarchs' ages? Adam, Seth, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, Noah. How did they record and know all their years that they lived? The lunar solar calendar was used to calculate days, weeks, months, and years from the beginning of time. Noah counted days, weeks, and months to add up to a 360-day year. And then in Exodus 12:2, Yah said, "This month, or moon, shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you." The first month began on a new moon day for Moses. Yah gave Moses the calendar to tell when the Passover would be. And then Revelation talks about the sun, moon, and stars. A great sign appeared, a woman clothed with the sun, moon, and stars. So, did the lunar calendar come from Babylon? The lunar calendar was used 1,000 years before the Babylonian calendar, and here is the proof. And we know these verses in Scripture talking about the calendar in the heavens.
The heavens declare the glory of Yahweh, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Day unto day utters speech, and night unto night reveals knowledge. There is no speech, nor language, where their voice is not heard. Their line has gone out through all the earth, and their words to the ends of the world. Psalm 19, 1 through 4. Psalm 104:19. You made the moon to mark the seasons, and the sun knows when to set.
The Creator's lunar solar calendar will be utilized until the end of time. For Yah says, I am Yah, I change not. Malachi 3:6. So to access more information about the lunar solar calendar, that the calendar of Israel, the calendar way back to the beginning of time, please go to our website, LunarSabbathDay.com. And thank you for being here today.